Olie, it's a pleasure to be talking to you.
Likewise.
Can you tell me what it means to you to have the Jazz South Radar Commission?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Last summer, when I heard I got it, it was obviously a few months into everything having stopped and no gigs and no income. So it was amazing to have something to do, to feel like a working artist still and to have something to focus on, to be able to offer some work to other musicians who I value and knew were short of work.
But you got your head down and you focused on this, and the piece is called Fire Hills, and it has an interesting subject, or maybe lack of precise subjects that you can tell me about.
Yeah, so I'll do the subject first and come back to the name then. So my idea for this piece, I was thinking about two things. Most of what I've done as a composer up to now has been quite thematic, and it's very often been drawing on Jewish liturgical music and poetry and like stuff that's important to me that had all kinds of baggage attached, and I wanted to just write something where I like the sounds, and that was all it was about in terms of content.
Is that slightly liberating in some way?
Definitely, yeah, and just sort of relishing like things that are nice to do on the bass and enjoying the sound of them, and then using that as material to expand from. In terms of the name, Fire Hills is the hills the other way from out of Hastings from where we are now. I really love walking and being out in the countryside. And
did the external environment or your engagement with it filter in either consciously or subconsciously to the work?
Definitely. So there's a conscious, specific, there's a motif in the piece that you'll have heard comes back in 3 different duos, and that's the rhythm of the call of the yellowhammer bird. And last spring there was a yellowhammer on the Fire Hills that I was enjoying listening to.
Olie, can we talk about your accompanist, Nick Malcolm on trumpet and Jason Yarde on saxophone, who are long-standing contributors. You're playing together in the group out front. What particular qualities do they bring to the music?
I mean, the first thing to say is they really are 2 of my favourite musicians, so it was a pleasure to have them doing anything. It was important to me for this piece to have musicians who were really rooted in the tradition of the music and really comfortable playing completely free. Both of them are definitely both of those things. Jason I've been such a fan of for years. I probably first known from Lewis Maholo's music, I guess, and I just think he's one of the greatest musicians we have in the country. Really is incredible. Nick is one of my oldest friends in music, really. We've been collaborating for a long time, since the beginning of either of us gigging. We were putting bands together, and we've been playing ever since then. So yeah, very, very easy decisions to make. And I know they sound great together as well, which isn't always easy for 2 horns.
When you have people who are used to playing spontaneously, how do you negotiate that kind of line between, okay, here's what I want you to play, and here's all the stuff that you're going to play because of your own imagination?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's something I think I've got better at. My inclination when I started writing music and putting bands together was very much just tell people, oh, do what you want with this. Here's a bit of material, it can go anywhere. And I've gradually become more confident in thinking, actually, no, I do have some opinions about what
and you can
is
direct
important.
a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So things like getting the confidence to actually sing them the melody, so they're hearing. As a horn player, if you wrote something, you would probably be playing the main melody, so that sets the tone. As a bass player, it's harder to do that in a way. So understanding what is important to you, what I do want to spell out how it should feel, but then giving them loads of room. I mean, they're really wonderful musicians, so they're going to come up with stuff that I would never have imagined and make something out of the piece that beyond what I could have imagined. So you definitely don't want to get in the way of that. I wouldn't want to write anything that made less of the improvised performance than could have happened.
I hope that you'll be performing this material live
Very
at some
much hope
point
so.
in the future. Presumably it will go through more twists and turns in front of an audience.
Yeah, I mean, we played it 3 times today, and I don't as we do this interview, I don't 100% know which one of them will be on the video, though I've got a fairly good idea. And it was really very different each time, I think. Actually, because the three of us play in a quintet called Out Front, I think I just mentioned that, with also with tenor and drums, and I'm thinking of arranging the piece for that group, which will give it even more room to go in very different directions.
Well, as soon as the gig is confirmed, I'll be in the front row.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you, Olie.